Well, today, Oregon welcomes home more than 120 soldiers who've been serving in Poland in support of U.S. NATO allies. These men and women are part of Charlie Company, 1st Squadron, 82nd Cavalry Regiment, Oregon National Guard. They mobilized in January of last year for their nearly year-long deployment. As part of Operation Atlantic Resolve, they supported efforts to deter Russian aggression after the initial invasion of Ukraine in February of last year. Governor Tina Kotek, Senator Ron Wyden, and Major General Michael Stenzel hosted the demobilization ceremony in Clackamas today. Governor Kotek addressed the soldiers for the first time as Commander-in-Chief.
I am not surprised that you were there doing very key work at a critical time, because that's what the Oregon National Guard has been doing. You are no stranger to demanding situations, and you are well equipped.
The deployment was one of the largest mobilizations of Oregon National Guard citizen soldiers since Operation Enduring Freedom in 2006.